Yeah, so the intro video that we kind of skipped over or didn't get a chance to see is the reveal trailer that we put out before, and it shows the birth of Ms. Splosion Man after the original Splosion Man gets captured. So you start immediately in the lab after your birth, and you're chasing after the captured Splosion Man. And here's our tutorial video. Shows you how to play.
Exploding with care is the key to a healthy lifestyle. Meet Sarah. Sarah brushes her teeth and does her homework on time. She's a good Splosion woman. That's Debbie. She's a stupid... When Sarah...
So originally the game kind of starts out looking pretty similar to the original Splosion Man. New gameplay mechanic there. Handrails. There are entire parts of the level, like you just saw Josh playing, where he can keep up off the ground. Pretty much like for entire sections of the level, he's just exploding off the heads of other scientists and barrels and stuff.
Scientists are all celebrating.
Congratulations. What's her name?
Yeah.
Just Ms. Splosion Man, but she's in the tutorial is just for fun, right? Debbie and
yeah, it's just cute. So we're gonna come up to our first boss here. This kind of takes place in most of the first level is this boss we're gonna show you.
Because Michael's the only person microphone, can you have him say those things?
Oh yeah, sorry.
yeah.
Yes,
Stop talking! Stop talking!
So hopefully people will recognize this boss from the first Splosion Man. The Mighty Eternal, who was originally created as a tribute to our art director, Dave Leung. He's half Chinese, and his name apparently in Chinese means Mighty Eternal, so we created this character after him.
His name in real life?
Dave Leung. And he's a freaking robot when it comes to making content, so...
Why don't you come up and see me sometime, big boy? Mr. Darcy, it's all madness!
So she has, of course, all her own audio and little idle animations. And and in classic Splosion Man fashion, there's lots of ridiculous movie references. So just in general, we tried to, right away in this first level, just let people know that it starts out looking a little bit like the original Splosion Man. You're in the labs, a lot of the same textures and stuff, but it's, clearly like gone up a few notches. And the main thing about this time around with Ms. Splosion Man is after this, you get outside the labs. So in Splosion Man, you're pretty much trapped in the labs the entire time. But here, you get out and there's multiple different locations you go to that all have their own kind of, like, quirky look to them and gameplay. So here's the actual fight with
Alright.
the revived Mighty Eternal.
Where are we going to get to the fight?
He's finally trapped you. Also, checkpoints are something that's kind of been looked at really hard for this game. With the original, there were maybe some sections that one of our designers, Sean Conway, who became notorious for making these sections of levels that were a little bit maybe too challenging and had the checkpoints a little too far away. So this game has more checkpoints, but also support for these mid-air checkpoints.
Mid-air check.
So if you're in the middle of doing like complicated sequence of actions, like this is a perfect example right here when you're exploding from one of these flying cars to another flying car, we can have mid-air checkpoints here, so you don't have to start all the way back to the last physical checkpoint that you saw.
Chili outrageous! La 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 la!
Yeah, so in a lot of ways
Catch!
Little surprise!
Ever played roulette? Bing, bing, bing. Always better bing.
yeah, so this level shows a lot of different gameplay for this kind of tropical world levels. So one of the main things we wanted to make sure, people knew that this was going to be a completely different game from the original Splosion Man. So that's why we chose to go with Ms. Splosion Man. It's like a completely different protagonist, and hopefully people like. Yeah, so people remember the donut scientist from the original Splosion Man, who used as a body shield against these types of guns. So the new body shield is this Mandy scientist. So Mandy is our lone female employee at the office who takes care of all of us. And so to honor her, we made her a scientist that you have to use, Mandy the scientist.
There's the new songs.
Yeah, and there's, similar to the donut song, there's a Mandy song. Chainsaw, our audio guy, made an awesome Mandy tribute theme song. And how she takes care of us.
Did she like it?
Yeah, I think she likes being in the game. Pretty much all the scientists in the game are modeled after someone in the office. Just Mandy. Mandy never got a turn, so now she gets kind of the most important scientist in the game. So that was the introduction you saw earlier with the Total Recall style. So what Ms. Splosion Man does is she jumps inside of Mandy and then kind of controls Mandy from inside.
Bring the boy to the yard.
That's her on the on the cell phone, just gossiping.
Okay.
And that's the Wilford scientist. I don't know why, but Josh made me the old guy in a wheelchair, and I die a lot.
Some women are listening.
It is Splosion Man. It's exclusive to Xbox Live Arcade, coming sometime this year.